thanks for joining us for another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks. This is Patricia Miller, Managing Editor with Cannabis and Tech Today. Joining us, we have a very special guest, Mr. Julian Marley. The Grammy Award-nominated reggae singer and songwriter is now creating his own line of CBD products called Juju Royal. Julian, how are you?
Yeah, it's been blessed. Thank you very much.
Great.
Thanks. Yes.
Good. I know you've been doing a lot of touring lately. Was that exciting in Florida? It's a nice time of year there.
Yeah, it's quite nice here. It's getting much cooler now. But we always enjoy playing shows and touring.
Yeah.
It was just a very short tour though, only in Florida at the moment.
Right. Well, you've got a lot of big fans there.
All right. Give thanks.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know, Julian, there's so many ways to ingest cannabis now, and I wondered, what's your favorite method?
Well, my favorite method is smoking the plant, as coming from a sacramental side of the plant, that's the best way, that's the way I've been consuming the plant for a long time now, And it's all because of, the meditation and that kind of spiritual connection we get from the smoking of the plant. Different than eating, you get a different kind of healing, even eating, But for me, smoking the herb is, one of my favorite things. I don't like to, I'm still kind of debating on how much to eat because I don't want to overeat, Something that tastes so nice, but that can knock you out.
Right. I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yeah, but it's all about beauty and it's all about the plant and how much is needed for each person,
Absolutely. And I know that with Juju Royal, you've got so many different products, and I wondered how you decide what to carry.
Well, sometimes we take ideas from other brilliant minds, other people that are in the field, seeing what's happening. My thing is more on the actual product itself, how good it is, how organic it is. Does it work, So, but, coming up with new options, I leave that to some of the business guys. But when it comes down to, does it work, is it good, that's where I come in place and how it looks,
Right. I really like that you guys do, you put your product testing right on the website for people to review. I think that's so cool.
Thank you. Yes, you have to do that, educate the people.
Yeah,
let
absolutely.
the people know the truth of, what's really, not ingredients, but what it's really made of, what I mean?
Right. And I noticed
pure, natural.
You seem to focus on CBD products. Why did you choose to go with CBD rather than the whole plant?
Well, because right now CBD for me is a healing for the body, So right now, lately, I've been on a more body healing kind of thing, Things that I want to offer the people because everyone can find herb to smoke. Herb is planted in the world. There's a world full of herb, really, But do we know how to extract it to make something that can heal your body? Now that is what, that is the new mission now. So CBD is good for the body, good for the aches, helps with a lot of things, serious diseases also. So it become now a passion to, find, deeper things that are in the plant. Because I heard that there are so many different elements, there are about 100 or 500 different natural chemicals in the plant, So it's so fascinating to hear, you can do a million things with that plant then, if you extract the right, ingredient. And also I've suffered recently the loss of my daughter through cancer.
Oh,
you understand?
my. I'm so sorry. I had no idea.
It was a brain cancer. So this is why we've changed it really into the CBD, because when I was looking, there was nothing, and no one was researching, and everyone is fighting the education of the plant, because they haven't found a way how to make millions of dollars off of it yet. That's
right.
And people's lives are in jeopardy because people are waiting to see how much money they can make. So for me, it becomes something that, CBD, with THC still, but you have to kind of know, everything is a study. You can't just start it. You never know what to,
Mm-hmm.
It's starting from ground one, ground zero upwards, so we're at ground one now,
That education component is so important, especially when it's for helping people who are suffering in pain. And is that something your daughter was able to use to help ease some of her suffering?
Yes, and but there was even more research that we heard that the plant can actually help to cure, But it's not just the plant by itself, obviously, but just to know that we do not have the right capabilities the right research is not happening to really use a plant to how it's needed to be used freely without being, without being run down by this hospital or this government or, Mm-hmm. So while they give you drugs that mash you down, they want to keep the plant from being free, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big education. It's a very passionate movement. And, just knowing that, it does help with pain, obviously, but it also, can help, in the healing of, the cancers and many different things, But without the education, without the dosage, without the right things, because, you never know what to do. So that is how this is. As a natural plant, you can do a million things. What to do with it,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the question. What to do with it? Because, we've heard a lot of great news about the herb and people using the herb and it's been curing them. I've been doing research. So now, it doesn't make no sense. Everyone has recreational herb. We all smoke herb. But do we all have a healing? Do we know how to boil it down and make tea or make something different out of it,
That's such a good point. A lot of people don't know how to use it in different ways.
Yeah, that is the whole thing now. So that is the kind of thought process that I find myself in many times now when it comes to the herb business,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad that you're helping to raise awareness for that.
Thank you, yes.
And I guess that would bring me to my next question. You said you're working with CBD because it can help people, but I think sometimes that's not what the industry is focused on. Have you found that to be like a surprising element of the cannabis industry?
Yeah, it's so very surprising. It goes to show you that they're just looking to make money. It's just money. But the healing, at some point they're gonna realize they're gonna need to find a new way because they're gonna get sick too. And when they get sick, they're gonna have to run and go right back to square one again, like where we are. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the more they, try to make it look like it's, we're making money, we're not doing no more research. At some point, they're going to have to research it because that's the way the world is going,
Yeah.
More and more things are attacking mankind, health, and different things that people don't even understand. But yet we're surrounded by Mother Nature that has everything for us,
Yeah, absolutely. I did just read a study from North Korea from South Korea. They just did a study that proved it could help with gastric cancer. So I'm so happy more research is going into it all the time.
Yes.
And it can have these profound health effects, but also something that you've spoken about is the spiritual effects of cannabis. How do you use it to enhance that part of your life?
Well, it's part, you have it in your body. And as I'm saying, herb is a thing, it's spiritual because it goes with mankind. So anything, God give man dominions over all things and, freedom of thought and action. So you smoke the herb, who you are is who the herb enhances, you know what I mean? So I'm not a spiritual person or whatever the vibration is. When, you partake of the herb, you find you go deeper into that meditation that you're going into, And herb really gives you, when you smoke herb, basically you find time for your thought process. You find time for yourself. to sit back and really think, because people's minds run so fast that they forget to eat, you know. They forget to give thanks for life. I mean, so when you smoke the herb, you remember to give thanks for life, and you remember, you know, you have to take care of yourself. So when me now, as a spiritual person now, when I smoke the herb, it just enhances my connection within the spirit, you know, within my spirit, which connects, you know, to God Almighty. You know. So it just enhances who you are. If you're a musician, you're going to play more music. You know, if you're a writer, you're going to write more writing. You know, if you're doing wrong, you're just going to do more wrong. But if you're doing right, you do right, and you'll get the benefit from the right. So
I like that.
That's the herb. That's herb for me.
And you feel like when you're brainstorming for new music or creating a song, is it something that you use every time, or just when
you use it when you feel like, when you want to use it, you know? For me, yeah, we smoke herb when we're creating. But as I say, it just opens your channels, you know, to the inspiration that God is sending. Because no matter how much you smoke, if you don't get the inspiration, you don't come up with nothing, you know.
Right.
There's inspiration with meditation, you know.
I know your dad often sang about, you know, that intersection between cannabis and social issues. Do you feel that that's something that you touch on in your music as well, and something that's still relevant?
Yes. Herb is a thing. When you smoke herb, is a social thing, as you know. Herb is even more enhanced than if you drink some wine. But picture when you're going to have some wine with your friends, you sit down, you drink, and you talk, you know? So the thing with herb, you sit down and you talk, but you reason about life, you reason about certain things where you have to find a solution for. You know, you reason for some positive result in whatever the reasoning is, you know. So it's a positive result you're looking for when we smoke herb. And if you're surrounded by good people, good brethren and sisterins that can give you a good conversation, then that's where it's good. But if you're sitting down and you're listening to a lot of folly, then you're gonna only go in more folly, you know.
Right.
As we say, it only enhances what you're doing. So if we're sitting down talking about Rastafari and social issues, we're going to talk, you're going to find the truth, and you're going to say, whoa, you know, at some point you're going to say, wow, you learn some, you know, the reasoning bring out some, you know, whatever the information that you need to get a result. So the herb helps you along the way, you know.
I could agree with that.
Yes.
I also wondered about your recent tour earlier this year in the East Coast. I know that a lot of states have legalized, and I was curious if that's changed the touring experience at all, with it being more accepted.
Well, I don't know, because we always been smoking herb every time.
Right.
Yeah, we smoke herb no matter what it is. We smoke herb. It's become more social, as we say, you know, more socially accepted, because the people is realizing the benefits of the plant. It's not, you know, like a cup of wine. You can only do one thing with a cup of wine, is get drunk. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can't extract it to do nothing else. Like, but herb, you can cook, you can bake, you can clean, you can build a rope, you can do a million things with one plant. So this magical plant, you know, is being acknowledged, and there's still more acknowledgement, because as we're saying, they're acknowledging it, but they're still trying to find out how to do this and how to do that with it. Instead of releasing it, let the people get it, and let people be healed, you know. But they're holding back the healing because, you know, they're trying to find out how to make some bucks, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How to make millions like cigarette, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But cigarette kills the people and herb frees the people, so that's the problem.
Yeah, that's well said. I'd also like to know how the energy is different when you play with your brothers on stage versus when maybe you're playing solo.
When we play with our brothers, it's much more, everything goes much more smoother. It's more of an enjoy. It's not as much work.
Right.
Because you're enjoying the whole celebration. You're enjoying, the whole vibes. And it's a magical vibe for me. It's a spiritual, magical vibe when we get together. Different kind of feeling. And it's enjoyment for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can only imagine how good that would feel to have all of your talented siblings on stage and share that spiritual connection.
Yes.
I also wanted to know what message that you hope your fans take away from your music, like overall, the most endearing message that you want people to take away.
The most enduring message is love. Have love, let the love grow. And love cannot have any boundaries, because our sole reason for making music is just to free the people, make the people, give the people what is needed to, and for me, what's needed is consciousness, upliftment, spiritual awareness, So love each other and love God, Love each other and love God. And that is one of the biggest messages that we can say right now.
And is that the message you try to get across with the Ghetto Youth Foundation as well?
Yes. Each one teach one, each one feed one, help each other, And that is the kind of example that has to be set,
Absolutely. And
so,
how is the I know that I think it's about to open or recently opened the Homework and Computer Center.
in Trenchtown?
Yeah. How is that?
Right. I haven't been down there since the work has been done,
Okay, I didn't know if it was open yet or about to open.
But I've been hearing a lot of good stuff from my brothers and stuff. But I haven't personally gotten down to see what's been happening yet.
Okay.
But I know it's in motion, so the main thing is to know progress is happening,
Right.
Where people really need it.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like it's really changing a lot of lives there. That's awesome.
Give thanks.
Yeah. Lastly, I guess, Julian, is there anything you'd like me to take away from our conversation that maybe we didn't touch on?
Well, support the music coming up, and the album, As I Am experience, which, brought me through this whole rocky time of life, you know what I'm saying?
So, was your daughter's passing an inspiration for that album?
No, it's not an inspiration. I was working on it throughout the whole time. It was released when it was released is when I found out what was happening. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it has been a challenge for the album because we have to deal with life first and children before we can go and tour and do these other kind of things,
Yeah.
So it was, we call it part of life's tribulations because that's the only thing we can say. When you come in with something, here comes something trying to cut down all what is positive and right. So, but as we say, God gives us the inner fire that keeps the fire burning continuously because everything comes down to Jah. We say Jah, meaning God, So give thanks for God because if there is no God, if we never have no hopes and no faith and stuff like that, then there will be no purpose for anything, So give thanks for the consciousness of the herb, give thanks to God, and it's the road continues, so you have to just continue the road in righteousness,
And Julian,
because it becomes a spiritual thing now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think there are probably so many people who are going through something similar to what you've experienced this year. Is there anything that maybe you'd like to say to those people who might be struggling with that same sorrow?
Well, we have to say, speaking for the children do not go through the Armageddon. They don't go through the judgment, which we speak of, like the Bible. We speak about Revelation, and the Bible speak of judgment time and right, heaven and that old philosophy, which is the reality. We know that the children are in heaven. So the best thing we can do as adults is get ourselves to heaven too. Because that's the only way. That is the faith and the goodness which keeps keeps me moving. So she's in heaven. All right, then that means I have God works to do, because I want to go to heaven too. So I have to go do the right thing. And heaven, to me, my whole belief in heaven is not even say heaven is spiritual and it can be physical. You know what I'm saying? And it's as to the time of the coming of God then, So, no one knows the time of judgment. So the judgment can be tomorrow morning, and there will be people on earth. So some people reach spiritually and some people are here the same way. And who's here have to do what we have to do until that time, you know what I mean? So it becomes spiritual food, So we take the sorrows and turn it into like lightning and thunder, strength, spiritual strength, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yeah, which is like lightning,
Yeah.
Energy force. Yes.
That's so powerful. I think that's really going to resonate with a lot of people.
Oh, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Julian, for your time. I'm just really thrilled to speak with you, and I'm looking forward to developing the piece.
Thank you also. Much blessings.
All right, back to you, and I'll be in touch with your people going forward.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks,
right.
Julian. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Cannabis and Tech Talks. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Emerald Scientific, the leader in cannabis science supplies, equipment, and information, offering everything you need from start to finish for cannabis analysis, testing, extraction, and more. Emerald Scientific supplies industry-leading scientific instruments, chemicals, and technical services to the cannabis industry. Learn more, go to emeraldscientific.com.